Mr. Catalano, how are you, my brother?
Oh,
I was just air drumming.
yeah, I had to do the cowbell.
Oh,
All right.
Motley Crue, baby.
What's up? Welcome everyone to the third, fourth episode of the crossover.
Yeah, our monthly crossover.
Yeah, we are here.
Where we are CreatiVity Speaks. And we're doing Motley Crue. And on my end, I want to dedicate this episode to the biggest Motley fucking Crue fan I know. Mikey Ikey. Some people called him the Flaming Snot because he had the satin Motley Crue jacket with the pentagram on the back and the flames kind of look like snots.
Nice.
So, but it was lovingly. So, Mike, this episode's for you, brother. Nice. Many days spent driving around in a Chevy Nova with the first three albums cranking through the night as teenagers drunkenly made their way through neighborhoods and discoveries of all types of things. Right? Absolutely.
Cheers.
We are talking about Motley Crue, and I'm drinking coffee.
That's all good. I'll tell you a quick funny story before we start. In high school, I had the leather jacket, with the jean jacket cut off, right?
Mm-hmm.
And which I still do, and I had a back patch, Motley Crue, very clean, very nice, just a pentagram, Motley Crue, and I would get stopped in the hallway. And here I'm a freshman. I'm walking through high school with my Motley Crue, and I would have these gangbangers roll up on me. I'm in Chicago, so right.
Mm-hmm.
Hey man, you're down in our nation. Down in your nation? What are you talking about? It's Motley Crue.
Right.
So apparently the upside down pentagram was some kind of anti their gang.
Oh,
and
nice.
I had no idea what they were talking about because I'm a freshman, but
right.
I'm a metalhead and I got Motley Crue on my backpack. So there you go.
That's awesome.
Backpack store.
Yeah, I remember the first time that I saw Motley. The first time it was brought to, I kind of heard of them, and then in 8th grade I was shown the Shout at the Devil cover.
Yeah.
And me still being at that time, I was still Catholic, so I was like, "Whoa, I can't listen."
Yeah.
Then I'm 6 months later, that was that.
Yeah.
And the next thing you know, and then of course, the Shout at the Devil album. But yeah, man, perfect band for the perfect time.
Yep.
And I remember we would literally go because we had seasons passes to Great America.
Okay.
So we'd go to Six Flags Great America just to see the Live Wire video. That Bow Wow, the Clash. They had the little video screens in the game room, remember? Yeah, so we'd go down there just for that,
I remember I saw Too Young to Fall in Love on Friday night videos. And we had this little black and white TV, 10 inches, whatever it was, in our backyard. And I was like, wow, what is that?
Right.
The end of the video. And, they're just like, I'm like, oh, this is badass, man. And then my cousin gave me Too Fast for Love.
Yeah.
And I was hooked. That was it.
Yeah, man. Niels Lauser, man. Rock and roll photographer extraordinaire. This is like if you were going to define like a metal band, and this is pre-hair band, hair band kind of the term came after it for people who don't know or are younger. But, dude, this was like the perfect look, the perfect, oops. You know what I mean? Like everyone was like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
But what a great
blood dripping on it.
Yeah, man. There was just, full of energy and so of course everyone, if they don't know, Motley Crue is basically Nikki Sixx's vehicle for his songwriting and Tommy's, but those guys band.
Nikki Sixx,
but so we've got Nikki Sixx on bass, background vocals, and of course lyrics and writing the music.
Yeah.
And then we've got our good old buddy Vince Neil on vocals. Sorry, I forgot to grab a John Corabi
that's okay.
Picture. But here we have Mr. McMars, extraordinaire. And dude, what a look.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Like he had the longest hair at the time. Yeah. And then a good old Tommy Lee.
Yeah.
With his Mighty Mouse, which was his tattoo on his shoulder when you could see it. But those are the dudes from Motley Crue, and dude, what a band! People can give shit about I don't know. I think Poison. I know you like Poison, but that to me, they're like the next generation from Motley Crue.
Yeah, for sure. Crue was, I mean,
the
early 80s.
Yeah, and I'm not saying the guys from Poison aren't talented, but like after that, the derivative beyond that just got so soupy and
Oh, sure. Yeah, because at that point it was record companies,
right,
cookie cutter, blonde guy in the front,
right,
everybody with the brunettes in the back. The singer had to be the long blonde hair guy, and if
right,
you weren't blonde, you dyed your hair blonde, and you were the singer.
right.
Pretty much how it worked. Right?
Yeah, and hey, man, a lot of people have issue with Motley Crue doing the basically reviving themselves from the dead, so to speak.
Yeah.
But here's the thing with that. They didn't lie.
No.
They said cease of touring.
Right.
And the only way they could tour if it was the original four dudes.
Right.
Well, you've got the original four dudes coming back to tour. Basically, they're cock blocking Vince is what it sounds like. Because Vince doesn't write.
Right.
He just performs other people. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
But he's not a writer, so it was probably going to be something like Vince Neil's Motley Crue. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they didn't want that, so they kind of.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot, reading when you go into the story and you really look at, and we'll do that as we go through album by album.
Yeah.
There's a lot to the story as things go on. So, you want to go ahead and we'll just start with Too Fast for Love and start going.
Yeah. So Motley Crue, they have 9 studio albums, 3 live albums, 3 EPs, 6 compilation albums, 2 box sets, 9 DVDs, 30 singles, and 32 music videos.
There you go.
We're only doing the studio albums.
Yeah.
And the studio recorded one-offs that were added, on like compilations or
because
the movie or something.
Right off the bat, some of them are some of my favorite songs. So that's why I asked. Like, I want to touch those because I really enjoy those. So all right.
Yeah. So Too Fast for Love originally came out on Leather Records, and then Elektra picked it up. I mean, it was their demo.
It was their demo. Basically, they took out, now from when I was looking and doing the research, and I remember they actually Stick to Your Guns was on the original demo, and they took that off. So there was 10 tracks on the original Too Fast for Love, and then when they released it on Elektra, they took that track off.
Yeah, and wasn't Black Widow another one they did?
From what I see on in the history of everything right here, it was not on the original.
All right.
Unless I got something different, but on the Wikipedia,
right?
Livewire,
just a demo that never made it out.
It was a demo, that never made it anywhere. But
or it could have been on like a import or something,
Probably.
Yeah. But Livewire.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, man.
Right out of the box,
just kick you right in the teeth right from the get go. And what a great riff, and so that was basically produced by Motley.
Yep.
But really, it was a local band, so the engineer is probably doing a lot of it.
Sure.
And you know what I mean? Because they recorded this pretty quickly, if I remember.
It was pretty quick, and I think everything was produced by them basically, but they had an engineer. Obviously, the engineering and everything like that on the album was done.
Yeah.
By Michael Wagner also.
Right.
So he was involved in the production of it, but Motley Crue themselves. This is, and I'm going to say this a couple times as we go through this. This was a Motley Crue album because when you look at the writing credits, it's the band who wrote almost every one of these songs. Well, no, all these songs pretty much.
Right. Yeah, so side 1 of the album.
Yeah, so
Livewire, Public Enemy #1, the introduction, beyond Livewire. Livewire is the introduction of the modern cowbell in songs.
Yes.
Used in a different way than everyone had to have a fucking cowbell on their drum kit.
Well, what's funny,
Right
I was gonna save this comment for later, but I know I'll forget, so I'm gonna say it right now.
Sure.
That now that you sat down and listened to every single Motley Crue album
Yeah.
this last week, and those of you out there who are Motley Crue fans, and that's why you're here, go back and listen to every album. Tommy Lee used cowbell on every other album. And I noticed that a very long time ago. So when you listen to Too Fast for Love, cowbell all over this album.
Uh-huh.
You go to the next album, Shout at the Devil, there is not one cowbell in any song. Then you go down to Theater of Pain,
Yeah.
cowbell all over that album.
Yeah.
You go to Girls, 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 not one song with cow. So every other album, up until I think, well, obviously Tattoo, because he wasn't on that album. That was his thing. So every other album there was cowbell on songs, and every other album there was not. So anyway,
awesome.
But yeah, so cowbell was like right there, man, and it was a nice deep cowbell.
Right. Totally. Also want to give a shout out to Janine Valdez listening in. Hey sis, what's going on? Welcome to the show. And dude, just the track list and the first Public Enemy #1, Take Me to the Top, Merry-Go-Round, which all the girls really loved. Piece of Your Action, great tune.
Yep.
Flip It Over, you got Starry Eyes, Stick to Your Guns, Come On and Dance. Dude, I love that song.
Yep.
Too Fast for Love, and the song that all the girls fell in love with Vince Neil over, On With the Show.
Yeah. Now that was the Leather Records version, because the Elektra version was Livewire, Come On and Dance.
Okay.
Public Enemy #1, Merry-Go-Round, and Take Me to the Top for side 1.
Right.
And then side 2 was Piece of Your Action, Starry Eyes, Too Fast for Love, and On With the Show.
Gotcha.
From what I see here, that was like they switched the order of them.
Right.
From one release to the other.
Yeah, and there is an album order that I'm totally not happy with that I'll get to it later. And there was a song they should have ended the album with, but
they didn't.
You know, it was a very political listen, not political as far as right versus left versus independent, like musically political.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it was like everyone was like, fine, fuck you. We're gonna fuck it. We'll just put that song at the end of it, you know.
Yeah.
But
so what are your like favorite? What's your standouts on this album?
Dude, the whole album's great.
It's like that Van Halen, right?
Yeah. I mean, Livewire, I love.
Yep.
You know, and that Livewire is, you know, that song reminds me of all the guys, the Tivoli kids we used to ride around in the Chevy Nova and whatever other car he had, you know, cranking the music with 12 people in there.
Yeah.
You know, driving from Galaxy West to Downers Grove in 7 minutes with 12 people in the car. You know, just, you know, but I mean, Take Me to the Top. I like that for the scream, for the note in it, because I sing.
Yep.
Piece of Your Action, great song, man. I mean, the whole album, you know, is really good.
That raw guitar sound.
Yeah.
Sounded like a motorcycle. Just kind of starting up, you know what I mean?
I mean, people, you know, like, you don't need all that bullshit.
Yeah.
You know, like a buddy of mine, love him to death. He had so many, like, dude, it was 45 minutes for him dicking around with the fucking effects before. And by that time, I was bored and ready to not jam.
Right.
You know, I'm like, dude, come on, you know.
You don't need all that. I mean, there comes a time, I think, as any musician does, like you start creating music and you start writing stuff and you get bored and you want to do something different. But sometimes, man, it's just more about just give me a good guitar tone.
Yeah.
And then just, you know,
dude, just turn on your amp up, put the gain up. Let's go.
Let's go. Yeah. and this album, I think you agree. It's almost like Van Halen 1, where it's just like every song is great.
It is the best garage band album of the time.
Yeah.
You know, that's total garage band.
And it stood the test.
And I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean that in the best, you know,
right.
A bunch of kids just banging it out and like in your teeth, and you know, Nikki Sixx was born. You know, but so what are your
on this one? Livewire, Public Enemy #1, Merry-Go-Round. It's actually the very first song that I tried to learn on guitar.
Okay.
Piece of Your Action, Too Fast for Love. Those are like my favorites on the album. But again, favorites meaning,
Favored.
but I love the whole album.
Yeah, the whole album's
It's
great.
hard for me to really pick, but because
there's not a bad tune on it.
There's not a bad song on this. There's nothing I want to skip over.
Right.
Yeah.
And when people used to give me a hard time about being a Crue fan, I'm like, dude, just listen to their first album.
I mean, right, man.
You know.
I used to sit there and think to myself, the guitar tone, Vince's voice, right? And just that look that they had, it's just great. Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep. All right. Well, shall we move on?
Absolutely.
We shall.
Okay, so our next album.
In the beginning.
Right. In the beginning. The future of all mankind. Yeah. So come now, children of the beast, be strong and shout at the devil.
What an opener, right?
Right.
When you heard that, you're like, what is this?
I don't know.
Right? Yeah. I was like, what is it's satanic. No, they're shouting at the devil.
Right.
Get it straight.
We got the pentagram. Russ got a pentagram on it.
Yeah.
There's 50 pentagrams on the flag.
But excuse me. So yeah, man, great album. Again, in the beginning,
what a look, man. Come on.
Yeah. I mean, as the track listing goes, in the beginning, shout the devil, looks that kill, bastard, God bless the children of the beast, Helter Skelter, and then side 2, Red Hot, Too Young to Fall in Love, Knock 'em Dead Kid, 10 Seconds to Love, and Danger.
Right.
So, okay, you go ahead. Your thoughts.
Okay, so this is produced by Tom Werman, and they're heavily on Elektra.
Yep.
I recorded at Cherokee Studios in Hollywood. Dude, I mean, this was their breakout. They got huge. They opened for Ozzy. They opened up for I don't know how many major bands, but Ozzy was the one that kind of catapulted them.
Right.
As you've seen in the dirt.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, the photography was spot on. Niels Lauser was in. He was already hot off with, all the other bands of the time. Van Halen, him and Dave were really close. And, but this whole album, and then they had Looks That Kill and Shout at the Devil and Too Young to Fall in Love were the videos.
Yeah.
That came out.
Yep.
And I don't remember in which order, but still,
yeah.
The next summer, we had to do. We had to go to Great America once again. Yeah, and then wait for like Friday night videos, and then I think that's the time they started like with after school.
Yeah,
like channel 44 or 66 or something.
Like right.
But you'd hope it'd come on. Okay, Safety Dance. Okay. Cool.
Right.
Fastway. Oh, Little Dwarves.
Yeah.
And that's when heavy metal ruled.
Yeah.
But yeah, shout out to that, another great album, man. I mean, the production's straight on. It's the mix is great.
Yeah.
The songwriting's good. Vince is on. A lot of people give Vince Neil shit, including myself. But in the studio, I mean, you can't go wrong.
No.
With this combination, he knocks it out. But live, but hey, the tour made $173.5 million this year.
I know.
Def Leppard, Motley Crue. Now, did they? Because I wasn't going to go to a stadium.
No.
So were they alternating?
From what I understand, Motley
and Def Leppard were alternating
the last slot, whatever.
And then
I don't even look at that. I mean, when you go on tour with all 4 bands like that,
oh, crazy!
It's a huge. I mean, it doesn't matter who's headlining. What does that matter? I mean,
right. It doesn't.
I'm going to see every single band.
Sure.
So, And and just to make even a comment on this to every local band or every other, when you're playing somewhere, you support everybody. You know what I
Right.
mean? And that's how these guys do it. You go out there and whatever. The
Right.
headline, that doesn't matter to me. I don't even think that really. It's like
Yeah, and they've known all these dudes forever.
yeah, they're all friends. Whatever. You get out there, you play, and
Right.
you crush it. Doesn't matter.
Absolutely. But yeah, a lot of people, there was the church had a big, complaint about this, and of course you're going to lean into it because that's how public relations work.
Sure.
It's not like they're King Diamond or
Yeah,
Slayer, but,
right.
it was just, like Rush had, big deal. Okay, how many people since Motley Crue have used that?
The pentagram, I know it's stupid.
100,000.
Stupid.
Here's an original idea.
Yeah.
But yeah, great album, man. And so that's when they started to get knee deep in their at the height of Nicky's creative output. It was basically, he's up to his ankles now in addiction issues with the heroin.
Yeah.
And as well as the other guys with their drug use. But hey, that was of the time. And of course, Motley Crue, the bad boys, of course. Knock 'Em Dead Kids, one of my favorite. 10 Seconds to Love.
Yeah, man. I love Red Hot on this. It was one of my first bands. That was the first cover I learned, man. We did Red Hot.
Yeah, a lot of bands played that tune back in the day.
Well, all right.
Yeah.
Great too. I mean, like for me, the standouts on this, besides Shout at the Devil, was always great.
Yeah.
Looks That Kill. I mean, Helter Skelter. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's a cool tune that people will kill me for this. I'm not a huge Beatles fan. I like this version better. Maybe because I heard this before I heard the Beatles. Whatever. But yeah, man, Too Young to Fall in Love is like one of the best freaking tunes ever written. I mean, it's a great just rock and roll song. Too Young to Fall in Love.
Oh yeah, great beat. Yeah,
great beat, man.
Yeah. Yeah, all the people in the Motley Crue were banging to that tune.
Oh yeah, Knock 'Em Dead Kid, as you said,
right?
Great song. 10 Seconds to Love,
right?
Pull My Trigger, and Guns Loaded with Your Love. Come on, man! Fucking great. That's awesome. And then Danger is a really cool, ominous type of tune.
Yeah, kind of like End of Omen or something. Yeah. It would be there, But yeah, it was a great album, man.
Not a bad. Like I said, that my throwaway on it would be Helter Skelter, and it's not one of their songs.
Yeah, and it was produced by Tom Werman, engineered by Jeff Workman. But yeah, man, totally.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, that's a great.
Oh, and it was supposed to. It was originally Hotter Than Hell.
Hotter Than Hell was the name of the album.
And then they re-recorded it when they did because it was in demo form.
Right.
So then they did Louder Than Hell in the studio.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, they were hot on fire, and then dude, they turned around and like everyone like who was in the Priest and Maiden and stuff were like getting in the Crue, and like you know what I mean? Like you had the people who were into Rat and Talkin, Great White, Y&T, Sabotage, there's all these other bands coming up at the time, and then they come out with Theater of Pain, and everyone's like, what?
Yeah.
It's like, dude, really? They didn't change that much. Oh, look, polka dots.
They reinvented themselves. Now,
yeah,
you have that shirt on. So
I know. Yeah, this is in tribute to Nikki Sixx. Absolutely.
But what I'm going to say is this. So what, dude? I mean, they had the balls,
right,
to come out looking like this, and
they
took, in my opinion, when they got to Shout the Devil, that was like, wow, now what? And I'm sure they were like, what do we do now? So they just turned it on its ear.
They were almost forced to do it because everyone was like copying what they were doing. They're like, fuck.
Right.
So like, okay, we're all into like Tommy Bolin and like all these other cats. Let's go glam.
Yeah. So they're like, what are we gonna do?
And the term hair band was born. but doesn't necessarily, relate
And
to
the
Crew. I don't
posing
think it
ball,
relates to Crew. It's like if you're a Christian of Jesus, okay, after that,
right?
it's like after Motley Crue. Those are hair band. You know what I mean? Like they're
Right. Yeah.
And I don't mean to
Or
make light,
whatever.
but that's like an allegory.
Yeah.
You know.
But I mean, whatever. Yeah, I totally agree. So I'll run through the tracks. So City Boy Blues, Smoking.
I love that tune.
Yeah, City Boy Blues, Smoking in the Boys Room, Louder Than Hell, Keep Your Eye on the Money, Home Sweet Home. Tonight We Need a Lover, Use It or Lose It, Save Our Souls, Raise Your Hands to Rock, and Fight for Your Rights. So yeah, so City Boy Blues.
Man,
Wow.
I love that song.
Yeah.
Produced by Tom Werman, of course.
Yep.
That song, okay. What year did this come out? This came out in 80, 85, 86?
I believe 85. Let me see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All I remember is like putting this cassette into my Alpine radio in my 1971 El Camino mint condition pile driver speakers and hauling up to see my girlfriend at the time, who was living with her parents, of course,
Right.
on a Christmas tree farm. Ho ho ho.
Yeah.
But yeah, pretty funny, how things remind you of certain things. But just that like first song, City Boy Blues, because she lived out way out in like Sun Prairie, out in the middle of nowhere.
You were the city boy.
Yeah, but pretty funny. And we met I had to spend the weekend with my dad, and we went to this like campground thing, and his live-in girlfriend had a camper at like this site that they kept it year round. So one night Vince disappeared after meeting a young blonde.
Nice.
But yeah, but that's what that album reminds me of at that time.
Yeah. It's I mean, great tune. I love City Boy Blues. I love the harmonica in there. It was like all of a sudden it was a little something different. Like almost like they changed their look. They kind of, they changed their style, but it just became something different.
Well, you're going for a different thing. I mean, you are what you wear. I mean, you put on you put on a suit, you feel a little better.
Yeah.
No matter who you are, you walk different when you're in a suit than,
Right. Smoking in the Boys Room. I heard Vince would always wanted to do that song. The guys.
Yeah, I guess they had tried a couple of times because they'd done it back in the day in their live set. But yeah, great tune. I was pissed off, dude, because we were working on a cover of that.
Oh yeah,
of the Brownsville Station version, and then they come out with that and like, no, we can't do it.
No, you can't do it. Yeah,
fuck.
I did the same thing with. I was working on a remake and cover of what the hell? Metallica redid it.
Turn the Page.
Turn the Page, and all of a sudden Metallica. I'm like, what? Well, there goes my idea.
Right. Damn it.
But yeah, so Smoking in the Boys Room, great video. The guy, the bald guy, and
the guy from The Hills Have Eyes.
Yeah,
and it's pretty fitting that we're bringing in October.
Yeah,
with the Crew.
That's true. And then we got Louder Than Hell. What a great.
And Mike just texted and he said his favorite song is Dancing on Glass.
Yeah, dude. What a great
tune. Very good, Mike.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I love that tune too.
Mike's I have a nickname for my buddy Mike, and been using it, I don't know, 30, 35 years. Sugar Nipples. Yeah. Nice. It's just funny to call him that across the room at a store. If you see him, hey. It's funny. He knows me. Come on.
It's all good.
Yeah, he's got stories.
Oh, yeah.
Mike, you should write a book, dude.
There you go. Write a book.
Mm-hmm.
Louder Than Hell. Great tune, man.
Right.
Keep Your Eye on the Money.
Yeah. And we got Jason's like, hey, you got to give your boy a shout out. Of course, we're going to give Jason a shout out.
Shout out.
We talked to Jason's coming out. He's going to do some guitar stuff with you.
Yep.
And real quick, Jason has a new segment on the show called Jason's Picks, and he goes through. He's going to cover Ronnie James Dio's documentary this week. But right, so yeah, it's kind of nice. People are texting us all through the show.
I love it.
That's nice, right? Motley Crue.
And if you're listening to the audio version later, shame on you. You should have been here for the live. See,
like I don't know how much alcohol was consumed, and I'm not condoning it for young people.
Never.
I'm saying hypothetically back then, since terms of it's past. But yeah, the amount of alcohol we consumed with Motley Crue in the background, just all types of fun, man. Unbelievable.
Yep. That's why
I've seen them like 5 or 6 times. I think Mike's seen them every single tour.
Yeah.
But yeah, so a couple people would give me shit because like everyone's freaking out, and I'm in a band at the time,
right,
and I'm just watching, I'm like this.
Well, that's what you do when you're in a band.
And they're like, "What are you pissed out?" I'm like, "Not at all, man. I fucking are you kidding me?"
It's a different way we soak it in.
Yeah, man. I'm looking at the production. I'm looking at what amps they're using. I'm looking at the lighting and costuming, the way that where the speakers are set.
When you're in a band, you're analyzing, and it's weird. We don't see that. We don't watch.
Which makes sense. I mean, as went on, I went into production and all that kind of stuff. So that makes sense, But
so keep your eye on Money. Like I said, great tune.
Mm-hmm.
One of my favorites on the album. Home Sweet Home.
Yeah.
That's like a, but I remember when MTV
in every like friend group, it would be like the breaking up, boyfriend, girlfriend with the Home Sweet Home playing in the background of the
Home. Yeah. I remember MTV had to change their
rules for
their top 10 thing because it was like number 1 for 6 months.
Yeah.
And they were like, okay, we can't do this anymore. It's always number 1.
Yeah, it'd be like Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon would probably still be up there.
Right. But again, I mean, what a great song, regardless. A great video.
Yeah. Louder Than Hell, I always dug for the I don't know, City Boy Blues, that note in there. Keep Your Eye on the Money's a fun tune. Home Sweet Home's good.
Yeah.
Tonight we need a lover tonight. Good. Use It or Lose It. Love that.
Great fat. Use it. Yeah. Oh yeah. Great tune.
Oh, totally. And,
Save Our Souls, I love too because it's got like
Save Our Souls for the heaven.
I love that riff.
Oh yeah, totally. Another haunting thing, and the Tommy beat is now firmly in place.
Yeah.
There's a couple of signature Tommy beats. And as we go along later on, I have some interesting theories.
All right.
But
and then Raise Your Hands to Rock is it's almost got like a country rock vibe to it.
Yeah, it's got that slide going in there.
Yeah. These guys really
got some Beatley kind of influence.
They really pioneered a lot of different sounds that they don't get credit for. You know what I'm saying?
They visited them, yeah.
Really, because people are doing some stuff like that today, and it's like when you listen to these and you go back, you're like, shit, they've been doing this a long time,
right?
So and then Fight for Your Rights was a great political kind of tune, I guess. I never thought they would do something like that,
Well, yeah, I mean, chances are, if you listen to Motley Crue, you're part of the dreg of society, and I gratefully accept that tag,
right,
for being a juvenile delinquent at the time. But
so, what do you think of this? I mean, this is another one of those that I have no bad. I couldn't throw one away on this album.
Yeah, Keep Your Eye on the Money is a great tune.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, just some great riffs on this album.
Oh, for sure.
I love the production on it.
Yeah.
It's not far off from Shout at the Devil. It just was I don't know, man. It was just they reinvented themselves and they came back stronger and they came back with some different, like it took a lot of, I'm going to say it took a lot of balls to open up an album after Shout at the Devil
Right.
Open up an album with a song like City Boy Blues.
With what?
City Boy Blues.
Right.
Opening up a song, an album like that. Yeah, it was like you're listening to it and go, what is this? And then it grabs you, you know. So,
Yeah, it was like they're looking over the wasteland of what they just
yeah,
created. Now they're fucked and they don't know what to do, you know.
they don't know what to do.
They've destroyed the world with Shout at the Devil.
Right.
They've had to reclaim themselves again.
Yeah.
And then yet again. See, people like put them into this thing. No, hey, pay attention, everybody.
Right.
That was the look for one album.
Right. That's it.
One album, one tour, boom.
Boom. Done.
Yeah. Time to change the outfit of the superhero like in every movie.
Yeah.
They're playing roles, you know.
Yeah, and if you think about it, it was like that's why the album was called Theater of
Theater
Pain.
of Pain. Yeah.
And they had the look of the concept of that album.
Right.
And now
it was theatrics, it was, you know, vaudeville, it was
Sure.
you know, Alice in Wonderland-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah, and again,
they come back and reinvent themselves again with Girls, Girls, Girls.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. But yeah, real quick here. Let me mention this. As September is Suicide Awareness Month, we just want to mention maybe down in the dumps, depressed, whatever, you know. It's okay if you don't want to talk to anyone you know, or if you don't feel comfortable talking to anyone. You can reach out to Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 1-800-273-8255 or at suicidepreventionlifeline.org. And if you got a cell phone in your hand and you can't dial the 10 digits, well, we've got 3 for you, and that's 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. Someone will be there to talk to you. You know, please reach out and talk to someone. Never feel that there is no one there to talk to you. And we mentioned this, of course. I lost my brother, and music is one of the best things you can do to heal. And, you know, it's not like there's not any Motley Crue songs about this very
same. Yeah. It's important. It's important. I lost my brother to suicide also. And yeah, it's you got, if you're out there and you're having issues,
reach out, man. You know, don't ever think that you're a burden that no one cares, because we do. And that can be a very powerful thing, and we know that Lyft can be a great one. But so yeah, girls, we enter again. They have to change their whole thing.
Yeah.
And then they're like, you know what? Everyone's pretty boying it. We're just gonna wear our street clothes, not shave every day. Stubble. You know, that's when stubble became cool.
Yeah.
You know, they dropped the makeup. They were riding Harleys. Girls.
Right.
You know, I mean, you couldn't go wrong. And that's when the Motley Crue machine was just humming.
Yep.
You know, oh yeah.
Girls, there it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. A great album cover with the motorcycles and the leather. And I mean, they just reinvented themselves again. I remember the day I bought this album. Well, I bought a cassette. They went out there. If you're not old enough, you don't know what cassettes are. But I bought it on cassette, and I'll never forget. I was sitting in the car, and my dad had to go into the store, and I'm like, I'm waiting right here. And I opened up my cassette, and I'm reading the lyrics, and I'm waiting. I couldn't wait to get home and put this thing in my stereo so I could listen to it. And then when I popped it in, Wild Side.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, bam, smacked you right upside the head.
What's the matter, you?
What's the matter, you? That's a great opener right there. Wild Side.
Oh, for sure. Did you get the Stugats?
So yeah, I'll run through the track listing and then we'll go one by one. So Wild Side, Girls, Dancing on Glass, Bad Boy Boogie, Nona. Then you flip it over back then on the other side. 5 Years Dead, All in the Name of, Something for Nothing, You're All I Need, and Jailhouse Rock. So yeah, you go ahead. I mean, what on this album? What's your, what do you think? Like Wild Side started off with the opener.
Yeah, Wild Side's a great tune. I'm like, wow. I'm like, Nicky's writing is really getting
Yeah.
expansive. You know, him and Tommy were hitting their stride.
Yep.
And I don't know, yeah. So, you know, and they're probably at the, you know, zenith of their, you know, extracurricular side activities. Girls, 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 great song.
Yep.
You know, I've been to every one of those except one.
Yeah. I remember going to LA and hitting every one of the clubs that are in the video.
Yeah. And Bad Boy Boogie, that's one of my favorite Crew songs.
Great
too.
too.
Reminds me of summertime with the windows rolled down, strolling down the highway. Nona, could do without it, but I get it. It was about his grandma.
Yep.
You know, good for him. 5 years dead. Seemed like it was meant for a movie, but never made it in it.
It does. Yeah.
It sounds like a soundtrack song.
Yeah.
I'm not, you know, it's just kind of.
I love the riff in it though.
Oh yeah, for sure.
The riff is cool.
Yeah. Something for Nothing or All in the Name of Love. Or All in the Name of. That's funny.
Yeah.
Not the Supremes. I'm sorry. Yeah, that's a good tune. Something for Nothing. Great tune. Again, there's your cowbell.
Yep.
You're All I Need. You know, that's for the was for the girls.
Yep.
And Vince always did one for the girls.
Yep.
And that's not a bad thing. You know, you can still call them girls.
Right.
Jailhouse Rock with Elvis Presley.
Yep.
Or the Elvis cover. That was recorded at Alpine Valley.
It was. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And Mike is actually in the video.
Is he?
Yeah, he's in the first row. And apparently we went to see the Theater of Pain tour at the Rosemont Horizon. And that was his first Crew show.
Okay.
So yeah, so I saw that, and I also saw them at Alpine with Loudness opening up for him.
Yeah, I've seen him.
Dude, I love that band. They
Yeah.
just came out with the new album, by the way, Loudness.
Yeah, I just heard. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, this is another one of those albums where I can't really like. No, I mean, it's a minute 27 seconds. I don't even call it a song. It was a nod to his grandma. I call my grandma Nona too. Italian thing. I get it.
Yeah.
But same thing to me. I mean, I love Dancing on Glass. What a great song. I mean, I had the piano at the end there, and I forgot the woman's name who did the background vocals on that.
Right.
So it's phenomenal, you know.
Oh, the Bad Habits or whatever.
Yeah.
I think that's what they're called.
Hey,
what they're called. Hey, was that what they're called? Oh, and another shout out to Jenny, of course. She's also texting into the show. Thank you. Hi, Jenny. Love you. But
just another great album. Jailhouse Rock again. It was great, you know. But that's my throwaway on the album. And when they do covers, it's like, you know, I just love the fact that this wasn't like Van Halen. I'm kind of putting them side by side here. Like, here we go, same thing.
Well, it was the next generation of Van Halen,
right? And it's the same guys writing all the music and writing the lyrics and
blonde singer, you know. I mean, he was even picking up the wow.
Yeah.
You know, he's even doing that thing.
Yeah, and this album for sure. I mean, and like I said, just great songs. Not really a bad one.
Right.
But my favorites are Wild Side, Girls, 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 Dancing on Glass, All in the Name of, and I think those are my favorites. But again, love all the songs.
Yeah. You know, I still, I don't know because I haven't been to one of these places in like 15 years, but I'm sure that it's still on loop at all the strip clubs because this
I'm sure
it was perfect for dancing this song.
Yeah, they're making their money.
You know, and that's like, like I'd rather go to a show where people are dancing. At least, most women would dance. Some guys would, but you know what I mean? Rather than I'm like, okay, Sausage Fest pass.
Got it. Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'd rather be, Yeah. If I wanted to go to a bathhouse on Cicero, I would. But yeah, what a great, the Nasty Habits.
Nasty Habits. Thank you.
That's what the background singers were. And Mick Mars.
But on that album, though, on that album, so there's somebody, and I'm gonna let me just jump down here to the notes, who sang background vocals. It doesn't really say, but I did look it up one time, and it was some woman, vocalist who was just, was Was it Phyllis St. James? Well, somebody did the background vocals on Dancing on Glass. Somebody knows out there, look it up. Let us know later. But she's just got an amazing voice at the end of that song. That's all.
Right.
So, all right. So moving along.
Moving along.
Called The Doctor.
Right.
The Doctor is in. So their 5th album, Dr. Feel Good.
Right.
That was released on August 28th, 1989. It's right before the end of that era. This album comes out. And let's take a look at track listing, and then we'll go through it one by one. So TNT, Terror, Tinseltown, right? Dr. Feelgood, Slice of Your Pie, Rattlesnake Shake, Kickstart My Heart, Without You, Same Old Situation, Sticky Sweet, She Goes Down, Don't Go Away Mad, Just Go Away, and Time for Change. So, yeah, TNT, Terror, and Tinseltown, just that little intro piece before Dr. Feelgood. Dr. Feelgood is a Mick Mars, Nikki Sixx tune.
Nice, letting Mick in there a little bit.
Yeah. Great tune.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Mick Mars is one of the, I think Mick Mars is one of the most underrated guitar players.
He is.
You know, and I'm real interested to hear his solo album
stuff, yeah.
But, you know, he's been, you know, like you get into some of this funkier stuff as we go on. And then, you know, some of the other stuff that was like dipping into country, almost like the 70s rock.
Right.
I mean, he's got, you know, he peaks out every once in a while. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And this is another, I don't think they didn't do much. I think they kind of kept that same girls style going into Dr. Feelgood.
Right.
But, you know, it's still great. Slice of Your Pie is a really great song. Very soul, very kind of.
Oh, totally. Very dirty, very New Orleans, Southern, like New Orleans-y.
Yeah.
Produced by Bob Rock, of course.
Yeah. Yep.
And, you know, Bob Rock was just on fire at the time. You know, for like the next 10 years, he was just, dude, Dr. Feelgood. Yeah. You know, great. Slice of Your Pie. Rattlesnake Shake, great.
Rattlesnake Shake with all the horns and stuff in there. I was like, oh, what is this?
Got
that boogie kind of feel to it. Obviously, Kickstart My Heart.
Yeah,
that's just played everywhere. That's like, you know, Nikki Sixx struck gold. I think he just.
I'm forever 12 years old, Pat. You have to remember this.
Yeah. Now without you.
Yeah.
Without You. Yeah, every time I hear Vince sing, it's Without You.
Without you in my life.
So yeah, I mean,
my
still
dog
a great song.
Went and died. Yeah,
still a great tune. Same Old Situation, dude.
Great song, man.
That's a great song. That's, I think, one of the best.
Needs more cowbell.
Yeah. Same Old Situation. Sticky Sweet.
Great tune.
Song. That's another great
one. That's a very sexy song.
Yeah. And then she goes
down. It makes the girls say beef. It's what's for dinner.
She goes down.
Yes, she does. Great song, man. I mean, you know, that's like a sexy, like Molly's got some like really sexy, groovy tunes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's one of them. Yeah.
Don't
go away mad. That was like their big video hit.
But
it was all right, but I didn't really care for it.
No, see, I love that song because there's a lot of people out there that I would just like to dedicate that song.
I mean, I won't turn it off, but you know, I won't put it on.
I don't care if you're mad or not. Just go away. I would love to see that with many people. Actually, I should get a bumper sticker.
Pat, that's just a granted, brother.
Yeah. And then Time for Change. I really like that song.
Yeah.
I love the way they end the song with the you know, that chorus and everything.
And you know what was always really cool about Motley Crue? It was always like almost like a fair amount of equal between the dudes and the chicks.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
As, you know, we used to call
for
them.
you.
You know what I mean? Like
for the chicks, here's two for the dudes.
Yeah. But you know, it was a great time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was a great show.
Right.
You know, and there's a lot of drunkards walking around, but that was of the time, you know.
That was at the time, man.
All the latchkey kids.
Yep.
See you at the Scarps, man, next Thursday. Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, Dr. Feelgood.
So to me, that ended the era.
Yeah, because they had just gotten sober at the time, I believe.
Right after that, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that really ended the era of Motley Crue, because moving forward, I'm going to hate to say it, but I think Motley Crue ended and died right there with Dr. Feelgood. That's, to me, even though moving forward, there's a lot of other stuff coming out
right
that we're going to talk about, but it's not Motley Crue to me. Like Motley Crue, that's when the band ended. Now, are we going to go into the next album, or are we going to talk about the one-offs?
What's that?
We're going to talk about the releases that they did on the
this one.
Well, that's the next album,
the Decade of Decadence.
Or do we talk about these songs coming up on these albums? Because
yeah, let's talk about all the covers
before we move on to the Motley Crue with John Corabi. Yeah, let's go into these compilations real quick.
Yeah.
So that one, let's take a look here. So if I can pull it up on my thing here. Oh yeah, compilations. So we got Decade of Decadence, and no use to go over the other tunes. Let's just talk
just the covers.
Ones. Yeah. Primal Scream and Angela.
Dude, love that song. Covers on the new originals for this.
Yeah. So Primal Scream, dude.
Yeah, this is like my theme song in life. That and Take Hold of the Flame is that tune.
What a great song that just came out on a compilation album.
All right.
You know, like where was that on? Was that supposed to be on Dr. Feelgood, or you don't know.
Right.
And so here's one for the guys and then one for the girls. They bring Angela.
Yeah, and then that song Teaser, another sexy tune, which is a
Oh, the cover they did. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was a T-Rex cover.
Yep.
Yeah, Teaser, great tune.
Yeah, I mean, so on this, it was kind of a shame. They were like throwaways, but I had hope at that time, like, we're gonna get a whole album like this.
Oh, like a covers?
No, a whole album with that Primal Scream.
And they just hit that right energy.
Yeah, with that energy, I was like, okay,
great, it was probably everyone just ready to fucking kill each other, and this is like, you know what?
We didn't know that.
Primal Scream, yeah.
We're listening to this, going, cool. Thank you for the greatest.
Yeah, what was it? Broke Dick Dog, Here's Some More, Tail Knocked in the Dirt, Time and Time of Being Told, Trash as I'm Worth. I was just a young boy, had to take a little greed. Now that I'm much older, don't put that shit on me. Yeah, grab it and shake it. So everyone, Nicky was dealing head on with his sobriety and his, the ghosts of his past, apparently,
Right.
But it seemed like everyone was.
Yeah.
But
yeah. And then what was the next one?
Drugs will do that.
Was the next one Red, White, and Crew? That had new songs on it.
Oh, did it?
I believe so.
Oh, did yeah. What? I don't know.
It was Red, White, and Crew.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So Red, White, and Crew had "If I Die Tomorrow."
Yeah.
Which is one of my favorite Motley Crue tunes. What a great song! And apparently, I didn't even know this till today. As a matter of fact, because I was actually listening to this. It was a song written by some Canadian band named Simple Plan that was being produced by the same producer as Motley Crue at the time. Simple Plan wrote the song and it's not for us, and they put it off the side. And a producer brought it to Nikki Sixx and said, "Hey, can you do something with this? Because you guys are working on this Red, White, and Crew thing. You want to put some new songs on here." So Nikki Sixx kind of adjusted the lyrics to fit more of Motley Crue and kind of changed the song a little bit. So it's credited to Simple Plan and Nikki Sixx. And that's, and it was never released on anything else. And again, one of my favorite Motley Crue tunes, "If I Die Tomorrow." It's kind of a deep tune, man. I really, If I Die Tomorrow,
Right.
It's a great tune.
Would all remain the same. Yeah.
Right. You know,
Right.
Sick Love Song, dude.
Yeah.
That's another new one on this album. Sick
Right.
Love Song, just great. And then they did Street Fighting Man, which I'll say, I know we're talking about Crew, but I loved the Lynch Mob version better.
Nice.
Yeah. So yeah, there's that. I mean, those are the new.
Someone out there's going, dude, those are fighting words, bruh.
I know it's all right, but I like the Lynch Mob version better. But yeah, so I think that's it because they released for compilations. They had Decade of Decadence, the Greatest Hits album, which didn't have any new songs on it.
Yeah.
Supersonic and Demonic Relics, that didn't have any new songs. The Millennium Collection, the Best of Motley Crue, didn't have any new songs. Loud as Fuck didn't have any new songs. Red, White, and Crew had those 2 new songs. And then the Greatest Hits album, that didn't have any. Let me take a look at the track listing. That didn't have any new songs.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. Well, and then when you come to the Dirt, but we'll get to that one last.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I mean, I guess we can go on now to.
Well, first off, hold on.
Nope.
Speaking of loud as fuck.
Yes.
Here's one thing you got to be loud as fuck on.
Yes.
And Pat, tell us about Fuck Cancer.
Yes. So as we all know, I'm a cancer survivor. Fuck cancer. So yeah, man, you can go to my website at www.thebeardspeakspodcast.com. Go to the merch section. I got some Fuck Cancer t-shirts and stuff like that. It'll support kind of my fight with cancer and things like that. And I actually do some cancer benefit stuff. So all that information is on there. Please go check it out. And if you're going through cancer and you're going through any type of, depression and things like that, when you're going through cancer, it's really a tough road. I wrote a blog, and you can check that out on the website too. That's got my whole story when I was going through cancer. I actually started blogging everything I went through. And it's kind of a good roadmap for people who have kind of started going down the chemotherapy and radiation and stuff like that. It's a great resource for you because you can read what I went through and kind of know what you're going to be going through in the future of your cancer battle.
Absolutely. So everyone go buy a shirt today and help support the effort.
Yep.
All right, man. So moving on to, as I was texting you earlier, welcome to Motley Crue.
Motley Crue. I do want to point out, I love how you're becoming very corporate. It's nice. We're plugging all our shit. Nice, man. I love it.
Yeah,
but anyway, it's for all good causes. Yeah, it's all for good causes, brother.
Absolutely.
So yeah, Motley Crue.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I love this album, dude.
Yeah.
But it's not Motley Crue.
Yeah, that's what I got here in my notes.
Yeah, Motley Crue, man. It's not Motley Crue. Motley Crue, and that was a weird thing because I guess they learned from the public's reaction for the Dave and Sammy thing with Van Halen, and I think they kind of, but they, Crue, very talented guy.
Oh my God, yeah.
But he wasn't at the level of Sammy Hagar,
right? To come in
when he went into Van Halen. Sammy was already a legend when he joined Van Halen,
right? And from what I understand, when they finished this album, the record company pressed for them to get rid of Crue and bring Vince Neil back. Vince didn't want to come back, and the guys didn't want him back. So they started working on the next album with John Crue. But
yeah,
nonetheless, here we go. I'll rattle off the titles, and then we'll go through what we'd like. So,
sure.
Power to the People, Uncle Jack, Hooligans Holiday, Misunderstood, Love Shine, Poison Apple, Hammered, Till Death Do Us Part, Welcome to the Numb, Smoke the Sky, Dropping Like Flies, and Drift Away. So, yeah, I mean, I'll start off saying what you said. It's not Motley Crue, but it's a great friggin' album.
Yeah, it's Motley in Chains. Yeah.
But it's ahead of its time because, Power to the Music.
You know, like, dude, there was such a heavy influence of Alice in Chains and like a handful of those songs, like really.
Right. Right.
You know, it's like, hey, Nikki, dude, you're the people that people copy now.
Right.
You know, don't, you know,
They'll start copying everybody else. Right.
yeah. And Karabi's voice, man, was great.
Oh, great on this album. My God.
You know,
Yeah.
and it created a little bit different dynamic because he also played guitar. So
Right. And it was the first time Mick Mars had to play with another guitar player.
yeah, so you know, got some interesting things, and it was heavy. This album's heavily like Beatlesy.
Yeah.
You know, even in Coordinary. Did you listen to that?
Yeah.
The 4 song. Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah. I think, you know, Karabi gets a raw deal for anyone who gives him shit. But
yeah, I mean, for sure. I met the guy at a Farm Rock. Cool guy. You know,
yeah.
very, I guess, very talented. His talent shines on this album, and this I listen to this more as a one-off, just something different, but it's not Motley Crue.
Yeah. No, I really like this. If this was another band other than Motley Crue, this would be a fucking amazing album.
Yeah.
I mean, it is an amazing album, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, and hey, you know, nothing. They tried.
Yeah.
You know?
I think they just got a raw deal because of the Motley Crue name. They should have just changed it to something else.
Yeah, dude. First I heard Power to the Music. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
And then I hear Hooligan's Holiday. I'm like, okay, this is my favorite. You know.
Tune. Yeah.
And then I hear Misunderstood. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
And then Poison Apples. And then Welcome to the Numb. And I'm like, oh my God. And then, dude, Smoke the Sky.
Well, yeah, I like Smoke the Sky. Is a great tune. Yeah.
Unbelievable. Dropping Like Flies. But there's a lot of, you know, and yeah, this whole album's great, man.
It's a great album. There's not a lot of real huge standouts. There's a lot of great moments on the album. There's a lot of great riffs. Karabi's voice is phenomenal throughout.
For sure.
A lot of stuff doesn't like I tried to think about it before I listened to the album. I said, okay, before I listened to the album, what stood out to me from listening to it in the past?
Right.
And Hooligan's Holiday, Misunderstood, and Power to the Music, and Smoke the Sky were the songs that stood out to me where they were in my head before I listened to the album again. And then when I listened to it again, I liked a couple other songs, but there was like no hits.
Yeah, this is the only album out of this that I listened to twice.
Yeah.
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 I started off today listening to this one again, but
cool. Yeah, no. I mean, great album, just not a Motley Crue album.
Yeah, and this is Mick Mars' favorite album.
That's funny, right?
Right.
He might have had a little bit extra
writing duties.
And I think maybe
arranging
his guitar. Maybe he probably had a lot of fun feeding off Karabi's guitar riffs and working with him. I like that, working with another guitar player and riffing like that. And yeah, I don't know, man. It's a great rock album, but it's not a Motley Crue record.
Yeah, and then they came out with this EP, and like Kiss did a solo album for each member. They did one song for each member.
Yeah.
And this is heavily Beatles influenced. Oh, there's a Beatles tune on this, isn't there?
I want to say there was.
But it's very Beatle-esque. But Click, Click, Boom is one of the baddest ass tunes of all time, man.
Right.
By Tommy Lee.
Yeah.
Great great tune, and it was also used the recut for what was Pam Anderson's superhero movie.
Oh, jeez, I forgot it.
Oh, don't even remember. Getting old.
Yeah.
But all right, man. What is next?
That was okay. So so now we go into the next Karabi album without Karabi, which was Generation Swine. No, you put up Red, White, and Crew. That was the old one.
Yeah,
you got to find Generation Swine there.
All right, I'll find it.
Yeah, the pig faces. So we got Generation Swine, which is the cover of Motley Crue with all their pig face masks and the American flag. You know, this album, this came out several years later. It was 91, I think, 2008. Yeah, 97. So that's when this came out. So Generation Swine was written mostly with Karabi in the band, and I guess the band was really feeling a lot of heat and a lot of pressure to get rid of Karabi and bring Vince Neil back because the Motley Crue self-titled album with Karabi flopped. Like,
right, and the tour sales
money
were
wise, the tour was horrible. They actually came to Chicago and played at the Metro, and I missed that.
ooh,
Yeah, so that would have probably been a killer show. I didn't go.
right.
But anyway, they felt a lot of pressure, so they were writing, recording, and then Karabi would come back into the studio, and all his shit was changed. And I think he had had enough, and he walked away.
Right.
How the story goes, and that left the door open for the producers. They got fired, and then they brought in some new people, and the record company said, "Bring Vince Neil back." So
Hmm.
Vince Neil actually just walked in and said, "Okay, what do you need me to do?" And he sang the songs the best of his ability, different style for him. He said he was really like, "What do I do here?"
Yeah, it was a very uncomfortable album.
It was very uncomfortable for him. So titles of this songs on this album, we got "Find Myself," "Afraid," "Flush," "Generation Swine," "Confession," "Beauty," "Glitter." Anybody out there? "Let Us Pray," "Rocket Ship," "A Rat Like Me," "Shout at the Devil 97," and "Brandon." So apparently on this album, Nikki Sixx did his lead vocals, Tommy Lee did.
Yeah, and very weak too, very badly mixed.
Dude, I'm gonna say one thing right now. This album is fucking trash. I'm sorry. This album was unlistenable. I skipped through tracks. I listened to half songs. God forgive me. It is fucking trash. I can't. It Afraid
Yeah,
was the only song that gave me a glimmer of a little bit of hope.
yeah.
Where I said, this is
Shout
not
out
a
the
bad.
Devil 97 for me.
Shout out Devil 97. I'm like, okay,
I was
that's
like, I need to, like they had to like throw that bone in there for Vince. Like, I need to,
something.
save myself here. Give me one tune.
Something, yeah. So they redid something that just probably was like, okay, we got to do something. So,
Right.
and I like that version of it. But as far as newer songs,
Yeah. Well, it was weird. They're getting into like Nine Inch Nails territory
yeah,
and like White Zombie and Rob Zombie, Marilyn Manson. They're using different, sounds that other bands were like, dude,
yeah,
you guys don't copy what other,
yeah.
you know,
It
that
was.
was just weird to see Motley do that.
It's a horrible album. I can't find any redeeming quality on this damn album, dude. I went and I was at this tour when they opened for when Cheap Trick opened for them at
Oh,
the Rose
nice.
Bar. Yeah, I was
Nice.
at that tour.
Yeah, see, I
Uh,
must not have even thought the album cover was worthy to download.
yeah,
Yeah.
see, so don't even worry about it, guys. It's Motley Crue and a bunch of pig faces.
What are you gonna do?
You know,
Oh, by
it's
the way, is the heat okay for you in here?
I'm feeling okay. It's nice and warm in here.
All right, just check it.
I'm burning with the devil or
Right.
shouting with the devil.
All right.
But yeah, man, I'm sorry. This album is garbage. It really is. I don't think it's Motley Crue.
Mhm.
Um, there's some outside writers, obviously. Nikki Sixx, Mick Mars, and Tommy Lee did write some stuff. There's nothing from Vince Neil in here except for Vince coming in and just doing, okay, give me the lyrics, give me the songs, let me sing.
Right, which isn't any different than what he usually does. It's
Yeah, yeah.
not his phrasing.
Not his phrasing, not his singing style, so he had to kind of adapt.
Right. And people go, "What do you mean Nikki writes it? What do you mean not his phrasing?" No, there's the phrasing the way that Nikki writes for Vince.
Right, for Vince, but this was written for Karabi, and Karabi wrote a lot.
Right.
And I guess he sued them because there was a lot of songs out here that he wrote that in.
He got publishing credit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah, as he should.
unfortunate.
As he should.
Yeah, as he should. But unfortunately, just to
Yeah, $4 million lawsuit against the band
yeah.
for alleged breach of contract, fraud, and slander.
So garbage. To me, I don't know. What do you think? What's your thoughts on this one? Same. I don't have a garbage flush sound, but
well,
if I did,
swine goes into the area of pig shit.
yeah, it's you know what? Perfect. It's pig shit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, love the
I hate to
guys, and
say
hey,
it.
one bad album out of the all, pretty good,
Yeah.
pretty good percentage, guys.
No, for
Especially
sure.
having a band that's released multiple albums where every song is good.
That's what I'm saying. I think I really believe it. Motley Crue died after fucking Dr. Feelgood, man.
Yeah.
Dr. Feelgood. I think that Motley Crue standalone with Karabi should have been a different band name.
Yeah.
Because it's a great album for that lineup and for that band.
Right.
And then they were trying. This is where they were falling apart, arguing, fighting. Karabi quits. They don't know what to do. They bring Vince in last minute to just sing some songs, and then they put out an album.
Yeah, here's a check for $3 million.
And here's a check, right? So it was like they phoned this one in, and it shows.
Yeah.
Moving along.
Right.
New tattoo.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go.
No Tommy Lee on this album.
No Tommy Lee on this one.
I have only listened to this album all the way through.
One time?
Today.
Really?
And I fucking love this album.
This is a really good album.
I totally dig this record. One of those things, you miss it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I totally understand. This album is a very good album.
Yeah.
Now, again, yeah, Tommy's gone. This was inspired by the cover of Bruce Dickinson's album, Tattooed Millionaire, believe it or not, from what I'm reading here. And the title track from Bruce Dickinson's Tattooed Millionaire is about Dickinson's wife having an affair with Nikki Sixx. I didn't know. Yeah, but I guess it was in the dirt and whatever. But yeah, man, great album. Starts off Hell on High Heels. Treat Me Like the Dog I Am. New Tattoo. Drag Strip. Superstar. First Band on the Moon. She Needs a Rock and Roll. Hollywood Ending.
First Band on the Moon is a great song, man. Oh my God.
Fake, Porno Star, and White Pucks on Dope. So yeah, man, let's start like Hell on High Heels. That was written by Mick Mars, Vince Neil, and Nikki Sixx.
Yeah, I like that tune a lot.
It's a great tune. It's got a fun. It's back to Motley Crue.
Yeah,
great song.
Yeah, they knew. Well, here's the whole thing. Nikki learned how to write to be reminiscent, of, not a derivative of, but reminiscent of what they did, and still be able to move forward with new sounds. Because Tommy's got a different snare sounding. It's more, it's more sharp. It's not as processed.
Well, Randy. You mean Randy? Randy Castillo.
Yeah, Randy Castillo. Yeah.
I mean, Treat Me Like a Dog I Am. An okay song.
Yeah.
But this is where they start bringing in on this album. See, every band does this, man. You get to a certain point, and Motley Crue made it from Too Fast for Love to Dr. Feelgood just with them, and then next thing you know, everybody else is coming in and writing songs with them. So,
Tommy was busy with reality shows and all types
doing his thing, Methods of Mayhem,
all types of things, Methods of Mayhem.
So, but anyway, and then New Tattoo, love that song.
Yeah,
I don't know, I really dig that tune. Drag Strip Superstar is okay.
Yeah, and the guitar is Johnny Five.
Johnny Five, yeah.
It's not, this is when Mick was going through his surgeries for him to get back on.
Right.
They're like, okay, we're doing this thing. You're not going to make it, but we'll write the tunes.
Yeah.
So that was the first. Even though they're giving props to the old man, but this really isn't a Motley Crue album.
Yeah, again, it is.
It's another band. It's really good.
It's really good, right? Yeah,
I really, really like this album a lot.
I dig it. Hell on High Heels, New Tattoo are my standouts, and so is Punch in the Teeth by Love. It's a good song, and First Band on the Moon, man, what a great tune.
Right. Yeah, First Band on the Moon. Yeah, a nice little, Nikki Sixx loves David Bowie.
Yeah.
And this is a really nice nod to that, but it's just a fun song, man.
It is. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And one of my dad's favorite songs by Louis Prima was beep beep.
Yeah.
Beep beep. So that's what it reminded me of immediately.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool. But yeah. That's probably my favorite song on the album. But there's a lot of great songs on this album, man.
Yeah, there's a lot of great ones. I mean, those are my standouts. But
Porno Star, very good. Fake is another good tune.
All right, yeah.
Yeah, I like that one. Punched in the Teeth by Love. Hollywood Ending, that's pretty funny.
Yeah.
But Yeah, that kind of reminds. And here's what they were doing in this one. They were taking beats from their previous stuff, like Too Fast for Love. You know, there are certain beats that they're using in this song with different riff patterns from other songs that were similar.
Right.
So they were kind of lifting their own shit in a way.
Right.
Like when I said being reminiscent.
Yep.
Then I'm like, oh, you know, at some of the songs, I'm like, wait a minute, did they just put Tommy's drum track on there from another tune?
Yeah.
You know, which, you know, whatever. It's still music, but
yeah, you know,
it was still recorded properly by a human being.
It was.
But
no, another good, you know, it's a great album. It's not, again, I hate to say, not a Motley Crue album.
Right.
But I don't know. I'm torn on that. You know, there's some good songs on here, you know, and it's sad that Randy passed away before they were even able to tour.
Right.
On this one, after they recorded the album, I know he went in for some.
And he'd been around forever, you know, in various bands that, you know,
he played with Ozzy,
metalhead loved, you know, so he was a logical choice for that spot.
Yeah. So, but then they after he passed away, they had Samantha Maloney from Hole.
Yeah, I saw them on tour with her, and she was she knocked out
great.
Yeah, she's got her cred. There's no question there.
Yeah,
you know, I mean,
but again,
interesting, you know. So,
yeah, but again,
and a little bit still, they still got a kind of little bit of the Seattle tinge going on, but
yeah,
you know,
still was not back to Motley Crue.
Right, totally.
So, do we go to Nikki Sixx's solo album? That's next.
Yeah, let's do that.
So next, Saints of Los Angeles.
Yep.
Yeah, man. Saints of Los Angeles. Let me go through the track listing. We got LAMF, Face Down in the Dirt. What's It Gonna Take? Down at the Whiskey. Saints of Los Angeles. Motherfucker of the Year. The Animal and Me.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Machine. Just Another Psycho. Chicks Equals Trouble. We all know that. This ain't no love. This ain't a love song. White Trash Music, Going Out Swinging. Well, I don't know, man. This is, again, I hate to say it, it's not a Motley Crue album. It's basically everybody from 6 a.m.
Right. Yeah, James Michael, Nikki Sixx, DJ Aspa, who was produced by those three guys.
Right.
And this was in order, they kind of almost had to do this I think it was for the tour, for the last tour.
Yeah.
They just wanted to, squeeze out whatever. Nikki's writing anyways in the studio, might as well record that as well.
Right.
But
now, are there good songs here? Yeah, I like Saints of Los Angeles.
Yeah.
I like
so 25 minutes before the showtime, Pat comes on here and we're talking behind in the green room, so to speak.
Yeah.
And he's like, turn it down. I'm like, dude, I'm still doing my homework. I had like 3 songs left from this album to listen to, but it was a Motley Crue sounding record.
It was. It's funny because like I Saints of Los Angeles and Motherfucker of the Year, I think are the only 2 songs I really, really like on the album.
Yeah.
I think Nikki Sixx hit it out of the park with Saints of Los Angeles. It's a great song, but
totally.
Let me put it to you this way: listening to these songs, or looking at the titles of the songs. So when I hear a song, or when I see a title here that says Saints of Los Angeles, or
I also like Down at the Whiskey, by the way.
Thank you, Down at the Whiskey.
Yeah.
These motherfuckers that wrote the song, besides Nikki Sixx, where were they? They were not down at the Whiskey. The rest of the guys were. Nikki was, Tommy was. That's where they lived down there. They were at the Whiskey all the time. They were living in there.
Oh yeah, totally. They'd be like, please stand by.
Yeah,
we're fucking off down at the Strip. Absolutely.
So, I don't know, man. It almost gives me like, how do you know you weren't there? So when these guys are writing songs for icons like Motley Crue, I know Nikki was involved in the writing. I get it.
Yeah.
But these other guys kind of were not involved in Motley. They're not Motley Crue. So to write a song.
No, I mean Nikki's the machine.
Yeah.
Nicky's Motley Crue. He writes all,
You're right. Nicky
Yeah.
is Motley Crue, but if he wrote all these songs on his own,
right.
I would call this a Motley Crue album a little bit more than I would with all these other people's influence.
Right.
Does that make sense? Kind of.
Yeah. 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 This is the album that 6 a.m. couldn't put out.
Right. It's a 6 a.m. album. So, but Saints of Los Angeles and Motherfucker of the Year, those are my standouts on this album. I like those tunes.
Yeah.
I saw the video for Saints of Los Angeles and I was like, they're back. This is a great tune.
Right.
And then I was disappointed. and then I cried.
Right.
I don't know, man. What do you think of this one?
I like the album.
Yeah.
All around, it's not bad.
Right.
But I can understand why they don't want to do another one. And that's not production was great, songwriting's good,
sure.
Couple great songs.
Yeah.
But no one's buying albums anymore. So why put the money and the time?
Right.
They're probably just going to put out one song every 2 years.
Yeah, I mean, that's what a lot of these guys are doing, man. Look at they
already got 3 hours to play live. What the hell do we, we're not going to,
That's what I'm saying, man, right?
Yeah. And even Vince Neil came out and said that, Motley Crue basically, they're just a touring band at this point.
Yeah, no. So if you look at the soundtrack of The Dirt, I think that they did Like a Virgin.
Yeah.
They're always throwing these weird covers. I mean, I could take it, give that away.
Like a Virgin.
They did Crash and Burn, which was Johnny Five and stuff like that. He was on that. Ride with the Devil.
Mm-hmm.
That was a newer tune for that. Which I don't know.
Dirt. Yeah.
Dirt. That's all. So I mean, Motley Crue, man, there it is.
Ride with the Devil, I really liked a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. But for me, I watched the movie. It was kind of cool to see some of the things that we used to read about in Hit Parader and Metal Edge and stuff like that.
Sure.
I love doing these crossovers and digging deep into these bands because it gives me a whole new look at the band. Because back then, as we were growing up, we were listening to their songs. I couldn't wait to get to the store and get my tape and then my CD. And I couldn't wait to go home and get it, listen to it. And back then, we didn't know the things we know now. We didn't have internet. We didn't have all this news and stuff. We had to wait for the magazine, and nobody was telling in the magazine, "Yeah, we got into a fight with Vince, fuck Vince," and
right.
So we didn't know really. So it's like now going back and listening, and then doing research and finding out what happened and stories behind the music and who didn't write what, and you're like, "What? Vince had nothing to do with anything?" What?
Yeah, never wrote a tune.
Never wrote a tune. I mean, well, actually, he had one or two in there.
Right, but
But I don't know, man. I think Motley Crue, personally, after doing this crossover, to me, Motley Crue died at Dr. Feelgood and never was to be seen again. That's my opinion.
Really?
Yeah, it is, man.
I see.
The rest of everything else coming after that should have been a different band name.
Yeah, and live they're great.
Live they're great. It should have been a different band name with different, because it really was never another Motley Crue. Because if you look at Dr. Feelgood all the way back to Too Fast for Love,
right,
it was just those guys writing, those guys producing,
right,
with the producer.
Yeah, they're my favorite Don't Give a Fuck band.
Right. And when they moved on from there, it was like, we're in trouble. We're fighting with this guy, fighting with that guy. Let's just put shit out. It's got to get put out.
Right.
And then to me, that's how I feel. Nikki Sixx's new venture from there on out.
Yeah, and they're going to be. They have, I guess, 200 shows next year.
Yeah.
So I guess they're booked for the next 2 years on tour.
And I'll tell you, I guarantee you, they are not playing jack shit from Generation Swine. They're not playing jack shit from New Tattoo.
That's right.
Right? They're not going to play. They're not playing anything off of the Motley Crue Karabi album. That's for sure.
Right.
So what are they really doing? They're playing all the good stuff, which I keep saying is from when Crue died back.
Right.
Dr. Feelgood, man. After they saw the doctor, man, that was it.
Yeah.
So I think that's what they're playing live because that's what people want to hear.
Right.
I think they had Saints of Los Angeles is the only one newer tune that's in the set list
That
that
made
they
the
played, that made the cut.
Yeah, I mean, what a weird problem to have is, oh man, I can't put that song on here
I
because
know. Yeah.
Home Sweet Home needs to be there,
Yeah.
or
Yeah. I mean,
Keep
if you think
Love
about
needs
it,
to be there, or Feel Good, or
yeah. If you
you know,
think about it, you've got one, two, three. You got 4 albums of material that just don't get played anymore.
right.
So, but you got Too Fast for Love, Shout at the Devil, Girls, Girls, Girls,
Mhm.
Leader of Pain. You got 5 albums of phenomenal material
Yeah.
with almost not a bad song. That's a great run.
These guys all look like they're drunk on Aquanet.
Yeah. It's all right, man. Like I said, and you
Step away
said
from the flame, please.
one of the greatest bands for the time.
Yeah, for sure.
They wrote some phenomenal music,
Oh yeah.
some of the best albums that have cemented
Yeah.
our memories that bring us back.
Absolutely, man. It gave a lot of kids who are trouble going through some hard shit,
Yeah,
an outlet,
yeah.
And how many bands started because of Motley Crue?
Oh,
You know, just like how many bands, probably including Motley Crue, started because of our next month's crossover, the original Kiss band.
that's right, baby.
I mean, come on.
Guys, yeah, come back next month because Kiss is on the remix.
Mhm. Yeah, we're gonna do from Kiss Kiss, the
Right.
original album, all the way up to Kiss Unmasked. So it's all the original guys,
Yep.
and so that's how we're gonna honor
Yeah.
another favorite band of ours, Kiss. But
Yeah.
yeah, Motley Crue's like the next generation, the child of you know,
Right.
Kiss and Van Halen went to a party and out came Motley Crue.
Right. It's kind of 100%. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, and of course Aerosmith is another huge influence on the Crue. But
Yeah.
and in the later albums, very Beatlesy, very Beatles-esque.
Yeah. The later Motley Crue albums were,
Yeah.
very Beatle, very just weird. A lot of different influences, but
Right.
but they did them well. Like I said, I'm not saying that just because I think they died after Dr. Feelgood, I'm not saying there's not good songs. Like I said,
Oh,
Saints of
absolutely.
Los Angeles, great song.
Right.
Motherfucker of the Year, great song. New Tattoo, great song.
Mhm.
Yeah, good songs. But to
Right.
me, not a Motley Crue album. I think after Dr. Feelgood, they lost that
Right.
that like just
That
that.
red hotness.
Yeah,
The red hot.
they
Speaking of
lost the
red
red
hot,
hot, baby. Yeah,
see the new swag?
I love the swag, dude.
Right? And just a little word from our sponsor, ourselves.
This is Biff Strange, your friendly neighborhood engineer, and I'm here to announce CreatiVity Talkin's merchandise page. Fancy! Check out the designs we got up online there. We've got beanies, t-shirts, hoodies, coffee mugs, and more. Just go to creativity-talkin.myspreadshop.com. Now that's what I call creativity talking.
Yeah, so go there and help support the show. Also below, remember to click like and subscribe. And there's links below for Pat's show, the Beard Speaks podcast, as well as Creativity Talking. All our different modes of getting our content directly to you. And Pat, you got any last words, brother?
Just keep the music alive. Keep listening to music, and if anybody, I know we're doing Kiss next, but throw us your ideas of who you want us to tackle. There's so many Scorps. There's
Yeah,
Talkin,
what's next?
Rat. There's, it just goes on. We
Yeah,
love
we're trying to
music.
stick to 70s, 80s,
Yeah.
and then maybe early 90s bands.
Don't come at us with Eminem, and don't come at
Yeah,
us.
nothing against them.
We're
We
not
just
doing
want
none
to
of
talk
that
about bands that we know, at least.
Yeah, let's talk about stuff we know. We don't want to go into that other stuff.
Yeah, because we're getting up there.
We're getting up there in age. So
Absolutely.
yeah, man. That's my last words. I love it.
Absolutely. And everyone have a good one. And remember, if you're feeling down, please pick up the phone, talk to somebody. Pat, love you, brother. And I I think we need more cowbell. Later. Have a good one. Later, Mike Eichhorst, the flaming snot. And here we go from CreatiVity Speaks. I'm V, and that is my brother.
Pat from the Beard.
And we will see you next time.